种花精喽。
HDMI 機會給戶陳到個攞地。
外懂哦。
Chief Justice Tina Lakia and Vela to Missouri, Banakatana and Luke Malvern.
You have to keep it safe because it's you.
The Honourable Chief Justice of India will now cut the ribbon from the main door that side. Once the ribbon is cut, we shall enter the building. Let us all clap as our Chief Justice. Now the building is inaugurated. May I please request all of the esteemed dignitaries and guests to move to the second floor inside the conference room. Towards the left wing, you can enter the conference room. May I please request all our guests to enter the conference room located on the second floor. Dignitaries on the dais, please take your place. Thank you. Please be seated. Good afternoon. On behalf of Guwahati High Court Aizawl Bench, I would like to extend a very warm welcome to the Honorable the Chief Justice of India, Dr. Justice D.Y. Chandrachud, and all other esteemed dignitaries gathered here at the inauguration program of new building of the Guwahati High Court Aizawl Bench. Guwahati High Court would like to take a moment in felicitating dignitaries on the dais. We would first like to felicitate the Honorable Mr. Justice Dr. D.Y. Chandrachud, Chief Justice of India. He will be felicitated by our own Chief Justice, Hon'ble Mr. Justice Sandeep Mehta, with a hand-woven mizo shawl. May I please request Mr. Michael Zoltan Kuma, the Honorable Judge of our very own portfolio judge, to present the Chief Justice of India a waistcoat. Thank you, Lord. We would like to felicitate the Honorable Chief Minister of Mizoram, Mr. Zoram. He will be felicitated by our Registrar, Mr. Joel Joseph Denga, the Chief Minister of Mizoram. Thank you, sir. We would also like to felicitate Honorable Mr. Justice Hrishikesh Roy, Judge of the Supreme Court of India. He will be felicitated by Mrs. Helen Dongliani, Secretary of Law and Judicial Department, Government of Mizoram. Honorable Mr. Justice Hrishikesh Roy. Thank you, Lordship. Thank you, ma'am. We would also like to felicitate Honorable Mr. Justice Ujjal Bhuiya, Judge of the Supreme Court of India. He will be felicitated by Mr. Thanglian Mangruite, District and Sessions Judge, Lunglei Judicial District. Thank you, Lordship. Thank you, sir. We would also like to felicitate Mr. Arjun Ram Meghawal, Honorable Minister of State, Ministry of Law and Justice. He will be felicitated by Dr. H.T.C. Larinzana, Special Judge, Prevention of Corruption Act. Thank you, sir. We would also like to felicitate the Honorable Mr. Justice N. Koteshwar Singh, the Chief Justice of Jammu and Kashmir High Court. He will be felicitated by Mr. R. Vandal Enna, Member Secretary, Mizoram State Legal Services Authority. Mizoram Bar Association would also like to take a moment in felicitating the dignitaries on the dais. First, we have the Chief Justice of India, Mr. Justice Dr. D.Y. Chandrachud. He will be felicitated by Mrs. Linda L. Hon'ble, Government Advocate, Additional Public Prosecutor, Government High Court, Guwahati High Court, Aizawl Bench. We would also like to felicitate the Honorable Chief Minister, Mr. Zoram. He will be felicitated by Ms. Mary L. Kyangte, Government Advocate, Additional Public Prosecutor, Guwahati High Court, Aizawl Bench. We would like to felicitate the Honorable Mr. Justice Hrishikesh Roy, Judge, Supreme Court of India. Ms. Larin Puye, Chief Legal Aid Defense Counsel, will be felicitating you. Honorable Mr. Justice Ujjal Bhuya, Judge of the Supreme Court of India. Ms. H. Lenmal Somi, Government Advocate, Guwahati High Court, Aizawl Bench. We would also like to felicitate the Honorable Union Law Minister, Mr. Arjun Ram Meghwal. He will be felicitated by Lerim Rajipatsual, Government Advocate, District Court, Aizawl. Thank you. But for the paucity of time, we would have loved to felicitate all the esteemed dignitaries on and off the dais. We acknowledge their valuable contribution in developing this institution. They have been a constant source of inspiration for us. Thank you all very much. Let me now invite the Honorable Chief Justice of Guwahati High Court, Mr. Justice Sandeep Mehta, for a welcome address.
My Lord, Honorable Justice D.Y. Chandrachud, Honorable the Chief Justice of India, Mr. Zoram Thanga, Honorable Chief Minister of Mizoram, my Lord, Honorable Justice Hrishikesh Roy, Judge Supreme Court of India, my Lord, Honorable Justice Ujjal Bhuya, Judge Supreme Court of India, Shri
Arjun Ram Meghwal,
Honorable Minister of State, Ministry of Law and Justice, Honorable Justice N. Koteshwar Singh, Chief Justice, Jammu and Kashmir High Court, Mr. T.J. Lalan Thangulanga, Honorable Minister of State, Law and Judicial and Parliamentary Affairs, Honorable Speaker Mizoram, Honorable Deputy CM Mizoram, respected ministers, my esteemed brother judges, Justice Suman Shah, Justice Michael Zulfan Kumar, my esteemed sister and brother judges present in this August gathering, Mr. Diganta Das, Learned Advocate General, Mizoram, Mr. Chinmoy Chaudhary, Senior Advocate and Chairman, Bar Council of Assam, Nagaland, Mizoram, and Arunachal Pradesh and Sikkim, Mr. Anil Malhotra, President, Mizoram Bar Association, Honorable dignitaries, members of Legislative Assembly of the State of Mizoram, members of the District Judiciary, former and serving senior government officials, members of the bar, members of the registry, dear students and media persons, ladies and gentlemen, a very good afternoon to all. This is indeed a momentous occasion in the annals of the Guwahati High Court, more specifically of the Aizawl bench of Guwahati High Court, that this magnificent new High Court building of the Guwahati High Court at Aizawl, Mizoram is being inaugurated by Honorable Mr. Justice D.Y. Chandrachud, Honorable the Chief Justice of India. We are extremely honored and privileged that Honorable the Chief Justice of India has graced this occasion to inaugurate the new building as the chief guest, and for having taken the trouble of coming down to Aizawl despite His Lordship's busy schedule. His Lordship's vision and guidance have been our constant source of inspiration, and this new building is a manifestation of it. It gives me immense pleasure and joy to welcome Your Lordship. It is indeed a proud moment for all of us, and especially for the people of Mizoram to find Your Lordship amongst us. I also feel honored to welcome Mr. Zoram Thanga, Honorable Chief Minister of Mizoram, who has extended wholehearted support in our endeavor to construct this beautiful structure. On this occasion, I also extend my hearty welcome to my Lord Honorable Justice Hrishikesh Roy, Judge Supreme Court of India, as well as Honorable Mr. Justice Ujjal Bhuya, Judge Supreme Court of India, during whose tenure as Honorable Judges of Guwahati High Court, the vision for a new High Court building at Aizawl was evolved and took shape, and whose contribution towards the building judicial infrastructure in Mizoram are invaluable. I also extend a very cordial welcome to Shri Arjun Ram Meghwal, Honorable Minister of State, Ministry of Law and Justice, who, despite his busy schedule, has zealously accepted our invitation to grace this occasion. I welcome you, sir. Honorable Justice N. Koteshwar Singh, Chief Justice J&K High Court, is here with us. He has come all the way from Jammu and Kashmir on my simple telephonic invitation to be with us to celebrate this occasion. I am sure that his heart must be filled with pride and nostalgia to see our efforts come to fruition today. I also extend my hearty welcome to my esteemed brother judges, Justice Suman Sham, the judges present of the dais. I also welcome my brother judge, Mr. Justice Michael Zuthan Kumar, Mr. Justice Nalthal Sainu, and Sister Judge, Mrs. Marley Vankung, who have left no stone unturned to make this dream possible. They have worked really hard and tirelessly at ground level. I extend a hearty and well-deserved welcome to them. I also extend a cordial welcome to my all brother and sister judges from Guwahati who have joined through virtual links. I am very happy to welcome Mr. DJ Lalung Thanga, Honorable Minister of State, Law and Judicial, Parliamentary Affairs, Transport and Environment, State of Mizoram, whose presence manifests his involvement in strengthening the judicial structure in Mizoram and to make it more robust. I extend a hearty welcome to Honorable Speaker, Honorable Deputy Minister and the State Ministers present here. I extend a very warm welcome to Mr. Apurva Sharma, Senior Advocate, Executive Chairman, Bar Council of India. I extend a hearty welcome to Mr. Chinmoy Chaudhary, Senior Advocate and Chairman, Bar Council of Assam, Mr. Diganta Das, Learned Senior Advocate and Advocate General of Mizoram, the Learned Senior Advocates present here, who have travelled all the way from Guwahati to be with us in this momentous occasion. I also extend a cordial welcome to Mr. Anil Malhotra, President Mizoram Bar Association. He and all the members of Bar have extended fullest support and cooperation to us in making this endeavour a reality. I welcome all the members of the Bar in this function. This new High Court building at Aizawl Bench of Guwahati High Court is not just a concrete structure. It is the outcome of the vision and concerted effort of all the stakeholders. It is a manifestation of our endeavour to strengthen the institution by providing an improved infrastructure with necessary work environment for a better administration of justice. The idea to construct a new High Court building was conceptualized many years back. Accordingly, a detailed project report was submitted to the central government in the year 2016. After necessary approvals from the central as well as the state government of Mizoram, the vision for a new High Court building began to take shape. Today, our hearts are filled with pride and joy when we look back and see that the journey which all the stakeholders have undertaken, many years old, has reached its destination with the inauguration at the august hands of Honorable the Chief Justice of India. Once again, I extend a very cordial welcome to all present. Thank you, Jai Hind.
Thank you, Lordship, for the warm welcome address. May I please now request the Honorable Minister of State, Ministry of Law and Justice, Mr. Arjun Ram Meghwal, to address the gathering.
पहले तो आप सभी को नमस्कार। आइजॉल बेंच ऑफ गुवाहाटी हाई कोर्ट का आज उद्घाटन हो रहा है। अपने आप में बहुत अच्छा दिन है हाई कोर्ट के लिए, गुवाहाटी हाई कोर्ट के लिए भी और आइजॉल बेंच के लिए भी। मैं जब पढ़ता था तो मुझे पढ़ने को मिलता था कि जो हाई कोर्ट की बिल्डिंग होती है वो मात्र बिल्डिंग नहीं होती, वो न्याय का मंदिर होता है। तो इस न्याय के मंदिर में आप सब आए, इसके लिए आपको सबसे ज्यादा अभिनंदन, आपका स्वागत, आपका धन्यवाद। अब मैं मंच की ओर आता हूं। मुझे तो एक मंथ 2 लाख हो गई। आज संदीप मेहता साहब ने आने का निमंत्रण भेजा और हवाई जहाज में हमें न्याय शास्त्र पढ़ने का मौका मिल गया। हमारे चीफ जस्टिस ऑफ इंडिया ऑनरेबल डी.वाई. चंद्रचूड़ साहब ने न्याय शास्त्र होता क्या है, न्याय शास्त्र की परिभाषा क्या है, तो वो आज बहुत 2-2.5 घंटे हमारा लंबा डिस्कशन हुआ, इसलिए सीजे साहब आपका भी बहुत बहुत अभिनंदन, बहुत बहुत स्वागत। आज इस मंच पे चीफ मिनिस्टर साहब भी बैठे हैं, मिजोरम के लॉ मिनिस्टर साहब भी बैठे हैं, और दो हमारे ऑनरेबल सुप्रीम कोर्ट जज भी बैठे हैं, ऋषिकेश राय साहब बैठे हैं और उज्जवल भुवन साहब भी बैठे हैं। आपका भी स्वागत है। और एक कोटेश्वर जी, ये तो अलग ही स्वागत करना पड़ेगा। ये चीफ जस्टिस ऑफ जम्मू एंड कश्मीर और मिजोरम में गुवाहाटी हाईकोर्ट के आइजोल बेंच पर आए, इसलिए आपका डबल स्वागत है। और स्वागत इसलिए डबल है कि सह परिवार आए, ऐसा ही है ना, सह परिवार आए। मैं बहुत अभिनंदन करता हूं मंच का, हमारे चेयरमैन बार काउंसिल ऑफ इंडिया, हमारे बार एसोसिएशन के चेयरमैन एजी साहब का, स्पीकर, डिप्टी स्पीकर, बाकी जो सम्मानित जज हैं यहाँ पे सबका, मेरे ख्याल में चीफ सेक्रेटरी भी बैठे हैं, कई रेणु जी और डीजी साहब भी बैठे हैं पुलिस के, सबका, और भी मंत्रीगण बैठे हैं। आप सबका स्वागत करता हूँ, अभिनंदन करता हूँ, और मेरी बात 3-4 शब्दों में समाप्त करने की कोशिश करता हूँ। अभी मुझे चीफ मिनिस्टर साहब कह रहे थे, मैंने इनसे पूछा कि इट इज ए रेनी सीजन इन मिजोरम, तो ही हैज यूज्ड द proverb, or you can say the phrase, it is not a rainy season, but it is a ray of the returning sun. Am I right? Am I right? तो आज तो बहुत शुभ दिन है। सोलर मिशन पे काम शुरू होने के लिए आदित्य L1 ना, क्या है? What is the name of the आदित्य L1? आज ही लॉन्च हुआ है सब, और लॉन्च होने के बाद हम पहला ही फंक्शन कर रहे हैं आइजोल में। तो आपने एकदम ठीक कहा, इट इज द रेन ऑफ द रिटर्निंग सन। और चंद्रयान 3 की सफलता के बाद मुझे लगता है कि खुशी के जो अवसर होते हैं ना, वो कभी कभी कम आते हैं किसी देश में। मैं पढ़ता था ऑनरेबल सीजे साहब, तब एक क्रिकेट का मैच जीता था देश में, इफ आई एम नॉट फॉरगेट, तो 86 होगा क्या, कपिल देव कैप्टन थे। क्या ईयर था भाई को क्रिकेट खेलने वाले? 83 ना, 83 वर्ल्ड कप। 83 वर्ल्ड कप जब जीता था, तो वो एक मैच ऐसा था जिसमें शायद हम जीत नहीं पा रहे थे, तो उसमें कपिल देव ने शायद 175 रन बनाए थे शायद, ऐसा है, जिम्बाब्वे के। हाँ देखिए, सीजे साहब के लिए ताली बजाओ भाई, कितना ज्ञान है इनको। और उसके बाद वो टर्निंग हुआ और हम जीत गए जी। उस समय शायद सबसे बढ़िया टीम थी जिसको वेस्ट इंडीज बोलते थे शायद, उसको भारत ने हराया। उस दिन देश को बहुत खुशी हुई थी। दूसरा मैंने महसूस किया खुद ने, आई वाज इन द शास्त्री भवन, मैं बैठा था और मेरे ऑफिस की बहुत सी महिलाएं, जो ऑफिसर भी थी, एक दो सेक्रेटरी भी थी, मैंने बुलाया कि भाई उनको बुलाओ, मुझे जरूरी बात करनी है कि साहब वो चंद्रयान 3 उतर रहा है, इसलिए महिलाएं तो सारी एक जगह इकट्ठी हो गई उसको देखने के लिए। तो मुझे लगा कि चंद्रयान 3 की सफलता पे पूरा देश झूम उठा था। तो आज लगता है कि इस बिल्डिंग को देख करके, मैंने जैसे इस बिल्डिंग को देखा, इसके रूप को देखा और फिर प्रसाद ने भी स्वागत किया, तो हम तो खुशी से झूम उठे साहब। आपका पता नहीं कैसे, आप झूमे कि झूमे? तो झूमे तो जोर से बजाइए ताली, झूमे हो तो बहुत बढ़िया, वेरी गुड। मैं टेक्निकल बात करने की कोशिश कर रहा था, रास्ते में बात की ऑनरेबल सीजे साहब से, लेकिन अब खुद ही करेंगे। लेकिन मैं एक चीज को जरूर मानता हूं कि भारतीय ज्ञान, भारतीय परंपराएं न्याय के शास्त्र में भी बहुत स्ट्रॉन्ग रही है। हमारे तो 6 सिस्टम ऑफ इंडियन फिलोसफी, जिसको हमने संस्कृत में 6 दर्शन कहा, लेकिन जो मैक्स मूलर उसका अनुवाद करता अंग्रेजी में, तो 6 सिस्टम ऑफ इंडियन फिलोसफी कहता है, और पूरे वर्ल्ड में हमारा दर्शन चला गया। उसमें एक दर्शन है जिसका नाम ही न्याय दर्शन है, उसका नाम ही न्याय दर्शन है। गौतम ऋषि जिन्होंने कहा तराजू पे तोलो, पति पत्नी में से कौन ठीक है तोलो, माँ बाप में से सब ठीक है क्या, कोई गड़बड़ तो नहीं करा, भाई बहन में कौन ठीक है तोलो। हम जब आपस में बैठ के काम कर रहे हैं, हमारे यहाँ कौन अच्छा काम कर रहा है कौन बुरा कर रहा है तोलो। ये जो लॉजिक पे काम करने का हमारे गौतम ऋषि ने हमें बताया, जिसका नाम ही न्याय दर्शन है। तो आज हम न्याय के मंदिर में बैठे हैं। लोग ये कहते हैं कि रूल ऑफ लॉ मैग्ना कार्टा से जनरेट हुआ, ठीक है, कुछ लोग इसको मानते होंगे, लेकिन मैं इसको पूर्णतः स्वीकार नहीं करता। क्योंकि हम जब न्याय शास्त्र की बात करते हैं, पंच परमेश्वर की बात करते हैं, वैशाली गणराज्य की बात करते हैं, तो न्याय था वहां। लिबर्टी, इक्वलिटी, फ्रेटर्निटी फ्रांस की क्रांति से पैदा हुआ ऐसा नहीं है। भगवान बुद्ध ने भी लिखा है कि लिबर्टी, इक्वलिटी, फ्रेटर्निटी। हमारे वैशाली गणराज्य में उस समय सभाएं होती थी, उसमें तर्क वितर्क होता था। जैसे आज कोर्ट में भी तर्क वितर्क करके फिर न्यायाधीश एक निर्णय पे पहुंचते हैं, ऐसे निर्णय पे पहुंचने के लिए तो हमारे तो बहुत से उदाहरण हैं, हजारों। मुझे यहाँ बार काउंसिल ऑफ इंडिया के एक बार मनन मिश्रा मिलने आए मेरे ऑफिस में। मैंने कहा आपने मंडन मिश्र का नाम सुना है क्या? बोला सुना तो है। मैंने कहा वो शंकराचार्य को चुनौती दे रहे हैं, मंडन मिश्र। और आप देखिए तर्क वितर्क उनका 45 दिन चलता है। कभी कभी ऑनरेबल सीजे साहब आज मुझे बता रहे थे कि कोई मुकदमा ऐसा होता है जिसमें कई दिन तक बहस करनी पड़ती है, तो वो भी ऐसा विषय था, कौन सर्वश्रेष्ठ ज्ञाता, शंकराचार्य या मंडन मिश्र। उसमें वाद विवाद, तर्क विवाद, लेकिन न्यायाधीश कौन बना? हमारे ऐसे ही कह दिया कि महिलाओं की ताकत कम थी। ठीक है, हम बीच में कभी हमारा कालखंड ऐसा आया जब ये सारी बीमारियां हमारी संस्कृति हमारी सभ्यता में आई। लेकिन यहां देखिए, एक तरफ शंकराचार्य है तर्क करने के लिए, एक तरफ मंडन मिश्र है, और न्यायाधीश कौन है? न्यायाधीश कौन है? वाइफ। आपके लिए ताली बजाओ। नाम है भारती, नाम है उसका भारती। और शंकराचार्य जी का देखो बड़ा दिल, वो ये कह सकते थे कि मंडन मिश्र जी ये तो आपकी पत्नी आपका पक्ष लेगी, लेकिन ऐसा नहीं हुआ, ऐसा नहीं हुआ। 45 दिन तक बहस चली, और एक बार जब वो कोई काम से मार्केट गई भारती, तो गले में माला पहना के गई, तो उन्होंने दोनों ने पूछा हमारा तर्क वितर्क तो चल रहा है, माला क्यों पहना रहे हो? कि नहीं मैं बाहर जा रही हूं 4-5 घंटे के लिए, वापिस आऊंगी तो आपने तर्क वितर्क कैसे किए मुझे क्या पता चलेगा? तो शंकराचार्य ने पूछा माला कैसे पता चलेगा? और मंडन मिश्र उनके हस्बैंड थे, तो उन्होंने पूछा माला से क्या होगा? बोला नहीं मैं माला पहना के जाऊंगी। तो वापिस आई तो उन्होंने अपने पति को कह दिया तुम हार गए। तो उन्होंने कहा आपने तो तर्क सुना ही नहीं, आप तो 4-5 घंटे बाहर थे, हार कैसे गया मैं? तो उन्होंने कहा जो माला मैंने पहनाई थी, आपको क्रोध आया इसलिए माला सूख गई, और आपके तर्क वितर्क से शंकराचार्य को क्रोध नहीं आया, इसलिए शंकराचार्य की माला वैसी की वैसी है, इसलिए मैं शंकराचार्य को विजेता घोषित करती हूं और अपने पति को हरवाया। ऐसे तराजू पे तोलने वाले हमारा सिस्टम रहा है जी। और आपने तो बहुत भारती का नाम दे लिया, तो आप तो ताली बजाओ, बजती है ताली इनके लिए बजती है, जोरदार ताली बजाइए। मैं अपनी बात को समाप्त करता हूं, और अभी चूंकि ये समय है, कालखंड है जो जिसका प्रधानमंत्री जी जिक्र करते हैं, अमृतकाल। हम 75 ईयर तक कैसे चले, कहां तक पहुंचे, मंजिल मिली या नहीं मिली, ये हमारा विश्लेषण करने का समय है। लेकिन हम 2047 तक हम कैसे विकसित भारत बनेंगे, इसका रोड मैप तैयार करने का भी समय है, और ऐसे न्याय के मंदिर उसमें मील के पत्थर साबित होंगे, ऐसा मुझे पूरा विश्वास है। आपने मुझे बोलने का अवसर दिया, यहाँ सम्मान किया, उसके लिए मैं आपका संदीप मेहता साहब बहुत बहुत स्वागत और अभिनंदन करता हूँ। आपका भी स्वागत और अभिनंदन करता हुआ अपनी वाणी को विराम देता हूँ। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद।
Thank you, sir, for the extremely informative speech. Let me now request the Honorable Chief Minister of Mizoram, Mr. Zoramthanga, to address the gathering.
Your Honor, the Chief Justice of India and Judges of the Supreme Court and the Chief Justice of Guwahati and the judges and the Law Minister who enthusiastically gave us such a beautiful lecture, even though I know a little. And important dignitaries, ladies and gentlemen, today, on this very important day, we thought that we would not be having this kind of inclement weather of rain. But nevertheless, we somehow managed to do it. And we are really grateful that the Chief Justice of India, together with the Law Minister and other judges, not only from Delhi, but even from Guwahati, have come all the way to inaugurate this High Court. When I first saw the High Court building, I thought that the architect were just having the kind of idea of Supreme Court of India. So with that kind of idea and a little imitation, as much as possible, they have designed this court. And I really like, and we are really grateful for that. Today, the Law Minister was asking me, what kind of rain is this? And I told him, we have different kind of rains here in Mizoram. Round about the 10th of May, we have the biggest northeasterly wind and the rain. We call it the rain that takes away the 7 stars in the east, because in the sky, after that rain, the 7 stars in the sky is no more visible. Whether it rises too early or too late at night, we cannot see the 7 stars. So we call it the rain that takes away the 7 stars in the sky. By the middle of year, around about the end of June, there came the biggest rain, the rain of the returning sun. And by the 20th of October, there came the rain. We call it the rain of the crabs, because a lot of crabs used to come out at that time. And the Law Minister asked me, what about this rain? I said, I believe it is the rain of the inauguration of Mizoram High Court. We never have this big rain in a time like this. It's a very inauspicious day. So from Delhi all the way, the Chief Justice of India has come to inaugurate this. We are really grateful because, as you know, we have been in the underground for a long time. Mizoram has a problematic and those troubled days for 20 years. When the peace accord was signed in 1966, June 30, and after that, my leader, Mr. Laldinga, once told the Prime Minister of India, we are your new converts. But sometimes new converts are more enthusiastic than the old converts. Indeed, it was. When the separation of a judiciary was about to be started here in the Northeast, we, the Mizoram government under our leaders, we were the first to operate this separation of judiciary. When the introduction of Lok Ayukta comes here, we, the Mizoram, are among the first who introduced this Lok Ayukta here in the Northeast. So really, new converts are sometimes more enthusiastic than the old converts. So now, we have got the Guwahati High Court bench. But when I enter and look at all the interior of this, well, we deserve to be upgraded from the High Court bench at least to the High Court, Guwahati High Court, not bench but even to a sofa set. So we have a beautiful house here. Now, what I like to mention is that here, since we have started the process of that separation of power, Lok Ayukta, judiciary system, it is, I do not know whether it is contradictory or otherwise, that I, being the previous underground leader, whom I was used to be called a leader of a lawless element, have to speak in the inauguration of the law enforcing institution of the Guwahati High Court bench here in Mizoram. It is just, I should say that it is how great India is, how accommodative India is. Right from the southern people of the Dravidians group to the Aryan group of the north and the west, to the Mongoloid group of the east, we all live together, speaking different languages, having different religion and different cultures and customs. And still, we all live together as an example of democracy here in the world. So now, with the coming of the greatness of India jumping economically, militarily, and setting an example in the present world as a symbol of biggest democratic world, we're proud to be Indian. And just before I came from my house, I just look at the television in which that I think they call it Aditya L1. It was just launched successfully. It really delayed my coming here also. But anyhow, because of the delayed landing of the plane, I was not late because I was anxious to see that. So anyhow, what I like to mention, what I like to say to our important dignitaries here. Let me say one thing. Once, Indian central government minister suddenly get crashed my bungalow, and without bringing an interpreter who could not speak English either. He came to my house. I was thinking, while we are sitting there together, whether my Hindi or his English will be more. So I thought that my Hindi may be a little more than his English. So I started speaking in Hindi. Of course, I did say something, quite a lot of that. I myself really do not understand what I say. Anyhow, we finished the meeting. So, different kinds of people who do not understand Hindi, different kind of people who do not understand this language or that language. We all mixed together and lived here happily. And lastly, what I like to say is that Mizoram, being one of the most troubled states, I think not only in India, but over here in the Southeastern Asia, where even a jet fighter, group of jet fighter bombarded the capital Aizawl town at the time, which the Prime Minister himself has said lately. From there on came the most successful peace accord of June 30th, 1986. And the most troublesome state become the most peaceful state. It is a time-tested peace. When I was in Chiang Mai, the underground leaders of Burma came to me. They said that we like to have a peaceful state here in Burma, as you have done in Mizoram. They invited me to help them with the President NSA, Mr. A.K. Doval. The government of India sent me to broker the peace in Myanmar. But before we finished, Aung San Suu Kyi came to power, and it was put in the cold storage for 5 years. Now comes the present scenario. But still, they expect India to help them to make peace. Because they have seen in Mizoram how peace can be made by the government of India in turning the most troubled state into the most peaceful state. Therefore, they like to have a place like this. So I believe that certainly here, Mizoram, apart from the COVID-19, and now we are surrounded by the trouble right from the Bangladesh, sending a good number of refugees. Then from Myanmar, sending a good number of thousands of refugees. From Manipur, much more came, and now we are refugees. We are having refugees, more than 50,000 here in a small state. I do not know how we are still eating our food. So, government of India has not given us even a single rupee, nor even 1 kg of rice as additional. But still, we are sharing our foods together with more than 50,000 refugees here. Anyhow, whether it is in Bangladesh, or whether it is in Myanmar, or whether it is in Manipur, they are all expecting the Indian government and, as an instrument, the Mizo people to have peace as they have done here in Mizoram. And it is my hope that certainly the day will come when all our neighbors, including Bangladesh and Myanmar, there will be peace, and India will be instrumental in making peace. And we can really make here a beautiful northeast place with the surrounding areas. So now Mizoram, which has become the most troubled state, we are trying to be the greatest exporter of peace in the neighboring countries and the neighboring states. And with this idea, we welcome the Chief Justice of India and our Law Minister and all other dignitaries here as a symbol of dispensation of justice here in the troubled state of the northeastern areas. Let us make a symbol of dispensation of justice here, starting from Mizoram and to other parts of the northeast. Today, certainly, we will make a big stepping stone for the inauguration, for which our Chief Justice, which I was almost mistaken him to be his secretary because he looked too young. Anyhow, we are grateful, we are fortunate that not a very old man, but a young man having such a kind of Chief Justice of India. We really welcome you here, and it is our wish that the rain would not stop and continue so that you may spend the night here. Well, that is how much we like you to spend your time here. Anyhow, let us hope that you will have the habit of coming often here to the little peaceful state of Mizoram. Welcome, all of you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for the extremely interesting and informative speech. May I now please request the Honorable Chief Justice of India, Mr. Justice D.Y. Chandrachud, to address the gathering.
The Honorable Chief Minister of Mizoram, Mr. Zoramthanga, Mr. Arjun Ram Meghwal, the Honorable Union Minister of Law and Justice, my very distinguished colleagues, Justice Rishikesh Roy, Justice Ujjal Bhuyan. In fact, Rishikesh and I go back to our days in Campus Law Center in Delhi. Chief Justice Sandeep Mehta, Chief Justice of the Guwahati High Court, Justice Koteshwar Singh, Chief Justice of the High Court of Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh, Honorable Ministers of the Government of Mizoram, Judges of the Guwahati High Court, and the Chief Secretary, the Director General of Police, the members of the District Judiciary, advocates, and all the eminent dignitaries on the dais and in the audience. I must at the outset begin by saying, Chibai, it is a great pleasure to be here for me, to be in your midst this morning. At the outset, I'd like to congratulate the district administration, the PWD officials, the state government, the union government, the entire judiciary, including our colleagues in the Guwahati High Court who have worked ceaselessly here for this building to come up as it has today. Day and night they have worked tirelessly to ensure that this building is set up. Courts, of course, perform a very important function in dispensing justice, in deciding disputes. But spacious court buildings at a certain level are truly crucial, because good technological facilities, good infrastructural facilities are necessary for the lawyers who come and do their work, for the judges who come and do their work here, for the litigants who come to our courtrooms, indeed for all stakeholders. But there is something more important which I want to stress this morning. And I'll take off from what the Honorable Chief Minister said. Court buildings like ours, judges, lawyers, and the litigants who come to our courts are an important message in the democratic values of our nation. And the important message which our institution sends across society is that we stand for the rule of law. We stand for the peaceful resolution of problems. There are so many countries in the world where the resolution of problems takes place through arms and weapons. But the importance of our institution is that we have replaced a culture of violence with a culture of dialogue, a culture of tolerance, a culture of understanding, and a realization that we share the shared values for bringing about human happiness, human good. Courts of justice are not just courts of law. They are called courts of justice because underlying all dispensation of justice is a sense of compassion. Compassion which is not patronizing, but compassion which understands the problems of all human beings whose paths of life engage with our own paths as judges, as lawyers. To the members of the bar, I want to say this, that all of you have a vital role in the strengthening of our own institution, the Court of Justice. Because in the work which you do, in the forensic contest of which you are a part in the court, whether as private lawyers, whether as government advocates, you emphasize that one critical value which is crucial to the stability and survival of our nation. And that value, to my mind, is dialogue. And it is this sense of dialogue between communities, dialogue between different stakeholders, which has promoted a sense of understanding across our nation. I wanted to ask the Chief Minister this. I'm very often asked, what is my secret of not looking old as the Chief Justice of India? When people ask me, this is not just because of my age. I'm as old as any other Chief Justice of India who assumes this office. But people also ask me this question on how do you manage to keep a smile going in the face of all the important problems of the nation that come to the court. I was going to ask the Chief Minister the same question. What is the secret of being so young? And I think that both the Chief Minister and I will share 2 or 3 secrets with all of you. I think one of the secrets is your sense of optimism. Your optimism in the potentialities which lie ahead for our society and the nation. Because when you have that sense of optimism, you have the yearning to do work for the nation, for our society, for the betterment of our society. The second is, of course, the belief that no human being is so important as to perhaps change the course of history. But all of us together have the ability in us to contribute to a more stable, peaceful, and happy society. But there is something which I'm not sure we would like to both confess, and which is that there is a little bit of good luck, parental genes, and the upbringing and early values which we have. But I therefore compliment all of you for this unique venture. This building signifies the rule of law, and the rule of law is what sustains this nation. I've been an advocate of strengthening judicial infrastructure, something which has been emphasized ever since 2012 by the National Courts Management Systems Committee. We have to now go beyond the high courts and strengthen the infrastructure of the district judiciary. Because the district judiciary is the first point of interface of common citizens with the justice delivery system. Our district courts have to be properly strengthened, not just in terms of physical infrastructure, but human infrastructure as well. I'm so delighted that increasingly the number of women who are coming into our system are far exceeding the young men who are coming into our system. Yesterday, I was delighted to see the statistics of the number of new entrants into the judiciary, the district judiciary in Uttar Pradesh. Over 55% of the successful recruits for the district judicial service examination were women. 15 out of the 20 toppers were women. And I was so happy to see government advocate after government advocate this morning, all of whom are women. But just as we are encouraging more and more women to join the judiciary, we make special efforts to ensure that our workplace is more conducive to women. We must recognize that women perform multiple duties. They are not just professionals. They are not just homemakers. They combine a variety of functions, and it's our duty as public personalities to ensure that our workplaces are more conducive for women to join our workplaces. At the Supreme Court, I have taken consistently efforts to ensure that no one has to go without access to clean, hygienic facilities. We have ensured that sanitary products are available in all women's washrooms in the Supreme Court. And I've also decided to construct 9 universal gender-neutral washrooms in the Supreme Court. I think this movement has to percolate down to our district judiciary and across the nation. Recently, the Supreme Court brought out a gender handbook. What does the gender handbook do? The gender handbook teaches us what the nature of our discourse should be within legal institutions when we deal with women. Women as offenders, women as survivors, women as dispensers, and women as equal workers in our workplace, whether as judges or lawyers. Our handbook explains in very simple terms why certain phrases are unacceptable in modern India. Why do you call a woman a chaste woman? In so many of our criminal judgments, you will find women being called a chaste woman. A housewife, a woman who is a victim of rape, as a woman who was ravished. And we have tried to explain in very simple language why these terms are not acceptable in modern India. The handbook took 3 years to coin and compose. It's all of about 30 plus pages. But I would request all of you, not just the women, but the men, because I do believe that gender is not just a woman's thing, it's a man's responsibility as well. Please do focus on the handbook. I would request the Honorable Chief Minister also to have a quick glance at the handbook, because it will tell us the vision which we must have to a new and emerging nation. The Guwahati High Court has a rare distinction of exercising jurisdiction over 4 states, Assam, Arunachal, Mizoram and Nagaland. With the separation of the judiciary from the executive over 15 years ago, the High Court has been exercising superintendence over all courts and tribunals. As a court of such considerable importance, its issues, concerns and achievements must be given their due importance. There has been a common misconception in India, which is that the high courts in the most populous states, or high courts dealing with the most commercially important cases, are the high courts which are the most important to the nation. I think that's a misconception. Every high court plays its own important part in sustaining the social fabric of the nation. And I do believe that our high courts interpret and engage with a diverse set of laws. The Guwahati High Court is no exception, reflective of the rich diversity of our people across India. And particularly in the context of Mizoram, I would like to emphasize that by creating these beautiful facilities that we have in the state, we are not inviting more and more people to enter into legal conflict. We must also equally ensure that we sap and ensure that conflicts don't enter the courts in the first place by encouraging community mediation, peaceful resolution of disputes. I've come to know that there is a saying in Mizo that if the cover of the shell is good, the seed it bears is also good. I'm hopeful and confident that this new building with modern infrastructure will shell and dispense the seeds of justice and the rule of law. I must also tell you that it is important for the rest of India to understand that the Supreme Court can benefit more from the Council of Advocates from the Northeast. Lawyers from the Northeast face many difficulties because of transport and accessibility barriers, lack of quality legal education, networking opportunities, and limited court infrastructure. While this High Court building is a step in the right direction, systemic challenges faced by the legal community in the Northeast must be identified and remedied It must be ensured that lawyers have the right training and experience, which would enable them to venture outside the region for their practice. I would encourage more and more young lawyers and law students to come and intern with us in the rest of the country, be it Mumbai or Delhi or Chennai or Madhya Pradesh. This will be beneficial at two levels. First, regional diversity increases diversity of perspectives and the intellectual caliber of the bar. Second, when lawyers from the Northeast will strive, and when they thrive, law students and citizens of Mizoram and other northeastern states will also gain better access to different high courts and the Supreme Court. Currently, the Supreme Court is enriched by my brothers, Justice Rishikesh Roy and Justice Ujjal Bhuyan, who share the Guwahati High Court as a parent high court. I request all of you to ensure that Brother Rishikesh and Brother Ujjal are not lonely in Delhi. I hope more and more advocates and judges from the Northeast will now chart their way to New Delhi to keep us company in the national capital. I cannot talk about the work-life balance when I am in Mizoram. The people of Mizoram have shown the way to the rest of India by leading in the happiness index. Across India, you always hear this phrase that the law is a jealous mistress. I don't like the word mistress. I think it's not acceptable in modern India. But the law typically has been treated as a jealous mistress, they say. And saying that the law is a jealous mistress is another way of saying that the cutthroat competition that you see in the law is acceptable. You have to be ruthless to succeed as a lawyer. I think states such as Mizoram show us why there is no substance in these sayings, or at the least, that these values of the legal profession being cutthroat, ruthless, must change. Because in that sense, I believe that your culture, and particularly your recent history from 1986, has shown us that love for peace, commitment to development, tolerance for ideas, and a shared tradition and belief in democracy is something which helps us all in our path for a more successful future. One last word. It's important that as lawyers we share our problems. All of us face problems in our personal lives. And so very often we brush our problems under the carpet. We have to open ourselves to talk to others. When you talk to others, you realize that your problems are not your own. Others share the same problems, and others have found a way out of their problems. So it's important for our mental health as lawyers, our mental health as judges, that we learn to share with each other. As the happiest state in India, Mizoram has a motivated youth population, one of the highest rates of literacy, work-life balance, and gender parity. And I must compliment the Chief Minister for leading from the front to achieve a state which is in that sense a flag bearer of that tradition. I urge you to use these strengths of Mizoram and foster a culture of excellence in your personal life while balancing it with the demands of our noble profession. Lastly, I would again like to wish the members of the bar all the very best. It is only with your sense of service, dedication and commitment that any court can flourish. To this end, I would like to request the Honorable Chief Justice of the Guwahati High Court, Justice Sandeep Mehta, to make every endeavor to establish a modern e-library for the bar. I once again, and I can assure you that there will be no dearth of funds from the E-Committee of the Supreme Court of India. I once again express my heartfelt gratitude for the invitation and the opportunity to witness this momentous occasion. I congratulate the people of Mizoram and wish all the success to the bar and bench of the Aizawl bench of the Guwahati High Court. I'm deeply thankful to you for inviting me. Thank you.
Thank you, Lordship. Taking the time to travel all the way to Mizoram, and also with that speech, can we all give a standing ovation to the Chief Justice of India, Dr. Justice D.Y. Chandrachud. Thank you, sir. Thank you. May I now please invite the Honorable Mr. Justice Michael Zothan Kumar, Judge of the Guwahati High Court, for a vote of thanks.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you all for attending this function. I, on behalf of the Guwahati High Court, would like to extend our sincere gratitude to the Honorable Chief Justice of India, Dr. D.Y. Chandrachud, for having spared his valuable time to inaugurate this building. Thank you, sir, for opening the inauguration. We are happy to have the presence of the Honorable Chief Minister, Mr. Zoram Thanga, who had separated the judiciary from the executive in Mizoram in the year 2006. Thank you, sir, for your support in ensuring that the building infrastructure in Mizoram is going on at a fast pace all over the state. I would also like to extend my sincere gratitude to Justice Felicitation, Judge Supreme Court of India, and Justice Ujjal Bhuyan, Judge Supreme Court of India, who have played a major role in the growth of judiciary, not only in Mizoram, but in the areas under the Guwahati High Court. Thank you, sir. I would also like to convey my gratitude to Shri Arjun Ram Meghwal, Union Minister of State for Law and Justice, Independent Judge, for sparing his valuable time and coming to Mizoram for the inauguration. Thank you for coming, sir. I would also like to thank Justice N. Koteshwar Singh and Madam, the Honorable Chief Justice of the Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh High Court, who as acting Chief Justice of the Guwahati High Court had also played a leading role in the development of judicial infrastructure in Mizoram. I would also like to thank the Speaker, who was a cabinet minister when this land was allotted for the High Court. And I would also like to thank the Deputy Chief Minister, the Law Minister, the other ministers of the government of Mizoram who have come to this place and have also helped in our endeavor to enlarge the infrastructure development of the judiciary in Mizoram. I would like to thank the Chief Secretary, the DGP, all the senior government officers who have come and ensured that this inauguration could take place. I would also like to thank the Government of India for the finances given for constructing this building, the PWD, the contractor, the PHE, the P&E department for their help in constructing the building. I would also like to thank the District Judiciary, the Registry of the Guwahati High Court, the media persons, the organizers, event managers, besides law students and faculty members, the NGOs, particularly the YMA, the MHEP, the Mizoram Upapol, and student organizations. I would also like to thank the Bar Association members, Mr. Lar Lalin Oma, who also helped us in ensuring that this land was given to the High Court. I would like to thank everyone who has come here today. I would like to thank Mrs. Ujjal Bhuyan and Mrs. Sandeep Mehta and Mrs. Suman Shyam. I would also like to thank my sister and brother judges of the Guwahati High Court. And I would also like to thank everyone on the dais. I'm sorry I don't have time to, otherwise they'll miss their flight. So I have to cut short my, my vote of thanks on the dais and off the dais. Thank you very much. Jai Hind.
Thank you, Lordship. With that, we have come to the end of the inauguration program of Guwahati High Court Aizawl Bench. Thank you all for your time. Dignitaries on the dais will now proceed to the courtyard for sapling plantation and photo session. Are they ready with it? Adinayaka Jaya He Bharat Bhagya Thank you. Dignitaries on the dais may proceed. Communication na boy. No, ito ay siya. I'm not sure. I think I'll have to rush down. Dignitaries on the sofa may proceed. Sofa chutika in noy lama thalaturin at suktheya abagzong kan kanzui vedon niya.
Cepat one person. No?
Hello, well. Again. Power, this is him. This is again.
Dictor tu ni.
All right, registry, please make a line along with the judicial officers because we are running short of time. Registry kan kung ay tigin kalang na yan rontel turin rontel vengal may wala hun kan ne lawangin judicial officers tenen yan kan lahaw nga do na ni hun aom to lawangin registry aom kung ay tigin rontel na rule anong lama yan rondig verule. Registry kung ay tigin kalaturin local rule. Thank you. Next we have the first batch of learned advocates. Okay, sorry advocates, maybe next time.
Flight delay maybe say 들어.
Well,